Hey, friends, welcome back to another episode of Notes from the Edge. I'm your host, Lisa Lacey, and this is the place where we have the conversations we should have been having all along, the place where we talk about the things we aren't talking about. We talk about them in here. And today's special guest, we're exploring the stories that life writes through us. I love that. And what happens when we finally begin listening closely enough to put those stories into words. My guest is Nancy Ensley, a storyteller whose work is shaped by decades of witnessing people during some of their most defining moments. Nancy is an author, legal nurse, consultant, hospice specialist, teacher, and lifelong observer of the human experience. Throughout her professional journey, she has also worked as a nurse, coding specialist. I have some stories for you there, girlfriend. Supervisor and educator. Her work has placed her beside people navigating illness, caregiving, uncertainty, loss, resilience, and change. And those experiences has given her a unique perspective about empathy, discernment, and the stories people carry and what happens when we change those stories. She writes across an extraordinary range of genres, which is really hard to do, my friends: memoir, literary fiction, science fiction, mystery thrillers, and adventure, including children's books. So, Nancy, welcome to The Edge. How are you today?
I'm fine. So nice to meet you, Lisa, and
Yeah.
everyone out there. Nice to
Yes,
see you.
it's so good to have you on here. Well,
Thank you.
Nancy, you have spent decades working in nursing, hospice, and other roles, and I'm a certified death doula, by the way.
Oh,
During
wonderful.
some of the most critical moments of people's lives, how did those experiences change what for you in your own life really matters?
I thank you for asking that, Lisa.
Yeah.
Over these podcasts and in my own life, I've found a lot about myself, what built me, what building blocks there were, and that was very important. I'll give you a snippet. Okay.
Oh, give us some snippets. We
I'll
like
give you
snippets
this.
in here, girl.
Okay, we've got snippets. I was born the first child of my father and mother. That was in 1941, so you know how old I am, and I'm not afraid to say that. I
We're loving aging these days, girl. It just means
85,
wisdom.
85 and still cooking. So
Ooh,
okay,
you holding it well. I want some of whatever you're using. So tell
I'll
us
give
about
you some.
it.
I'm
All
going to give
right.
you some in this podcast.
I love
Okay,
it. Give it to
okay.
us.
Little girl lived over my father's store. My father, we live in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey. So you talk like this, you talk like this, you use your hand. You don't open your mouth. You don't look at anybody. That's what you know when you live in Jersey. Okay, little tiny Atlantic Highlands. It was on the shore and across the bay from New York. So I saw itty bitty, little tiny life and huge life. And
Yeah.
isn't that something? You don't know what you process when you're young, but that became part of me. There's a little bit of whole different worlds around you that you need to observe. So I was a little girl. They put me in a playpen. My father was very handsome, a dancer, a photographer, took all the pictures in the town. Everyone knew him. Uh, took care of everybody in church. I was Catholic. I was born Catholic. I was made Catholic. I was told to be Catholic and wear a hat. And I saw this man outside of the house and then this other person inside the house.
Interesting.
Whatever processed his anger, I
Mhm.
saw two different people and I thought, how could you be so different? And I think early on, I can't say that for sure, but my life of counselors has said, you processed that it was your fault and
Mhm.
that you had to fix it in there somewhere. Whatever that gene was to be a fixer, my mother was a fixer. She went to
Mhm.
Juilliard. She was a concert pianist, played at Carnegie Hall,
Well,
and
you come from some creatives.
creative. That
Yeah.
creative gene was, oh my goodness, it was a bomb to go off in my life.
Mhm.
So Of course, I can't draw a picture at all, but my sister's an
I
artist.
can't sing, but I can do many,
And a
many
girl,
other things. I can dance, I can act, but
they
singing
tell
was never my jam.
that's your
Yep.
thing.
We
They
can't
tell
do
me
it all, can
no,
we?
can't do it all. But oh, those parts of the gene that were in there, that got thrown in the playpen with me. And
Yeah.
so I had a doll. We didn't have a lot of money, evidently. My mother slept on a cot. My father slept in the bed with us. A big bed,
Mhm.
a dresser, and a playpen. Okay.
Aw.
So in the playpen, if I would stay awake. I never needed much sleep. I wanted to see everything, hear everything. I wanted to be ready.
Yeah.
Always ready. Okay, so they would throw books and I saw these black things on the white paper and I didn't know what they were. You know when you need glasses and hearing aids and you don't either use either one, everything's blurry. You know that's a tree and you might know this and then everything you hear is different. So
Yes.
life is like that. To get clarity, to understand what it was. So I asked questions and I saw P's and D's for those especially, but consonants that were repeated in these things called words. And my mother said, these are words. Ask me what you want to know what the word is. And I memorized some words. So by the time I was 4, I was reading.
Wow.
Was I digesting it? Did I get the meaning of those sentences? Probably not, but they sure stayed somewhere. And
Yeah.
and because that was what I had in my playpen, I kept that in my playpen
Mhm.
all the rest of my life.
I
I
love
wrote, I know, I began to write. I certainly felt unworthy. PTSD and abandonment are huge issues, and I felt that in my family. I don't blame them anymore. I forgave them. I love them, and I'll tell you about when that happened. But anyhow, the first thing I wrote was a poem to my mother for Mother's Day. Scrawled it on there. I didn't realize that I was matching words that sounded alike to have a rhythm to the poem. So I'm
Mhm.
coaching myself in something I had no idea I was doing it. So I have my poem there.
Brilliant young little girl. Yes.
I was smart. I was smart, and I still, even though some brain cells are dying, I still,
We can write a book, but we can't remember when we walked in the kitchen. Yep, I get it. I get it.
where's my phone? Oh my God.
Yep. Oh Lord,
Where's
my
my phone?
husband's my finder. I'm like, find it,
Oh,
find
Lisa,
it.
you're so young. I hope you don't lose any of
Oh,
your brain cells.
but
No.
my story's long too, my friend. My story's long too. So
Okay, so I wrote a poem when I was 6 or 7, I do believe.
wow.
I hid in the closet when I was a little girl, when I heard battles going on,
Mm,
but I didn't want, I must have had rescuer, the fixer inside of me somehow. And I would come out and join that battle and the victim,
yeah.
become the victim so that my mother wouldn't get hurt any more than what she was.
Yeah.
And that my father must be hurting because he looked so upset. And I took beatings physically, mentally, and inside of me that made me feel unworthy. So I looked for love anywhere. If the kids made fun of my clothes, if the kids made fun of me, I'd do anything they asked me to do, and it got me in trouble. Anything to make you love me and like me. I would
Yeah.
ask when I went to school, I'd ask the nuns, can I write on the board? So I didn't have to look at the kids. They didn't have to look at me. And I wanted to write on the board because whatever this was, whatever these things were, they became my rescue point.
Mm,
And I'm giving some advice right now. If you never journal, if you never write about yourself and what you're thinking, do it.
mm,
When I'm processing something, when you're thinking about something, I see that you're looking at things that you might have written and found out about other people that you need to ask. And
yeah.
so when I write something down and I have a decision to make, it becomes quite a bit different than what's spinning around in this crazy head of mine.
Yeah.
And you say, right, in many genres, I must be schizophrenic because there is never, I was watching this squirrel out here. I'm going to write a book about Sam, the flying squirrel. I won't.
We have one called the Bandit. He got a little mask on. He looks like a little bandit.
Where's it going? And
Yep.
so that, yes, yes. And then during high school, I was a fixer. I'd join any club. I was going to be the head of it. I was scared to death because I didn't inside feel that. But this outside person just grabbed at anything that would make me feel worthy. Never enough, never enough. Worked harder. And sometimes you intimidate other people when you overdo more than anything else, especially if you're in a administrative,
Especially as a woman. Yeah.
especially, well, absolutely, as a woman,
Yeah.
yes. And I don't know what I was. I don't have a name for it, but those are the things that built me out of
Mm.
the closet. I even started writing my memoir when in my 20s. It was called The Closet. And I changed it because I didn't want to be in the closet. I changed it to The Tire Swing, which is freedom to me. And
Oh, I love that.
it was in my grandma's backyard. And she took care of us when my mom and dad would leave. They'd leave, and I
Yeah.
didn't know if they were coming back.
Yeah.
And so I wrote this. It'll only take 2 seconds to
Yeah.
read the poem that I wrote for The Tire Swing. It's It's on a very early page. The tire swing hung from a tree. It beckoned then, come ride with me. The rubber seat would bruise your thigh, but no one cared. When soaring high above the ground, then touch the sky, you pull and push. Oh my, you may be brave and try to fly. This life, the tire swing, it beckons us to do great things. Sometimes we soar, sometimes we fall. It makes us dizzy when we twirl out of control, but all in all, we have the choice to ride.
Oh.
So, as a child, I didn't think of that, you know, how I made it look like life, but that's what I did. I
Yeah.
wanted to go over. I pushed myself so high. I wanted to go over the branch, and I still do. And I hope I don't do it to you today.
That's not look, you're on Notes from the Edge. We go over the branch every single time. That's our goal in here. We go over the branch,
No,
girl.
okay, I'll go on. I'm going.
We go over the
I'm
branch. I
but
want
some
to highlight something about your poem that I think is very important. You used a word that I think is so pivotal for those of us who may be recovering from complex post-traumatic stress disorder, anything that we're struggling with, and that is the word choice. And when you become an observer of life, you get to start making conscious decisions and choices rather than living your life on autopilot from the patterns that developed in early childhood. So, such a beautiful poem.
yes, and
Yeah,
thank God I did have a spiritual background. I know that everyone doesn't. I honor what you believe in,
me too.
or don't believe in, and
Yeah,
but there's energy around us, and that does not die. I
that
know
is
that.
science.
It's a
It's science.
science, it's
Yeah,
scientific, and also all of the bad things that happen to you, you can turn them around and learn from them.
yes,
And I'll tell you that story when I get up out of there. And so, but that energy can be what you use. You can
yes,
use someone you trust. Get some support system. I journal. I have a great faith that I almost lost.
mhm,
I have and I have all these parts I'm telling you about that I want to get to know. I'm not done yet, but if I am, I want to go smiling. I
yeah,
want you to talk to me, even if I'm unconscious. I learned that in hospice. I learned that all throughout my career as a nurse, that hearing does not go until the very moment you die.
I think that's an
I'm not
important detail for us all to remember.
is
Yeah,
talk if you can, even cry, laugh, tell a joke, tell them something about the day, tell them something you remember about them. It's still
yeah,
there. They can hear, they can't listen. And there's a difference
Yeah.
between hearing and listening. So that's really important. Blessings, hope, don't give up hope, even though the world seems in a chaos. Maybe your world is in chaos. Don't
Mhm.
give up hope. Find whatever little beast, whether it's Hershey's chocolate or what it
Or
is.
writing a book,
Writing
whatever.
a book,
Yeah.
writing book. Everyone has a story. You have a story. There are many. Everyone has a story. So take all the notes, all the journals, anything you wrote on. This side of the room looks kind of cool because it's all my books. But this side of the room, I don't show anyone when I it is full of notes and pictures and sticky things. It
Yep.
is sometimes even I am afraid of the thing my mind comes up with.
I
That
like my sticky things. I got Post-it notes
you
everywhere, girlfriend. That's
good
why
for
my memoir is called Notes from a Certified Mad Woman, because I
oh,
got
I love it.
Post-it
I love
everywhere, everywhere.
I
Well,
love
speaking of writing, you have described your writing as your way of listening to life. So, what have you been able to hear?
I have been able to hear three important things that hearing and listening are very different. I can hear you. And now that we don't look at people when we talk, we text a lot. One
Mhm.
thing that's missing is I see your facial expressions. I see your excitement. I see your thinking about what the next question is. I see so much about you, your
Yeah.
smile, your hair, your glasses, your background. All of that is part of listening. And then if you don't, if you aren't sure what the person is telling you, say, did I hear you saying that you're having a lot of trouble with your children? Um,
Mhm.
I've had similar experiences. Would you like me to tell you my story or my, how I
I
feel?
love that that's an invitation.
And
One, it's reframing what you've heard so they can clarify yay or nay, you got it right or wrong. And then an invitation, not unsolicited advice, but may I share with you? Because you know what? Sometimes people are going to go no, and a no is acceptable too. It's called a boundary. And if we can't respect other people's boundaries, it's hard to anticipate our boundaries to be respected. So I love that you offer the invitation after clarifying, did I hear you correctly? You are absolutely right. I have a running joke in our household. I'm like, yeah, I hear you. I ain't listening to you, but I hear you. I tell my husband that all the time. No, I hear you. I just ain't listening to you.
I've got my hearing aids. My daughter,
Yeah, I
my,
can hear you. I can hear
one of
you.
my daughters, my youngest daughter is here, and she's hilarious. She's got it. She has many, many things that she's lived through and survived, but she also is hilarious, and that's part of her genre and how she approaches people. She's a caretaker, poor thing, but she gave me some interesting medical things she was looking at for her husband, and I said, I started telling her what I thought about that. She said, "Mom, listen."
Mhm. They
Listen,
are different. They are different.
listen.
And it requires a presence. It requires you to be out of your own head,
Right.
not thinking about work, not thinking about what you're gonna say next, but actually being present with that person. And I have a little trick with the people I love, care about, and serve when I'm trying to practice. It is a practice, my friends, because our minds are crazy, loopy places, where I pay attention to their face, right? Like their ears, their nose, like really look at each other. When we have the privilege and the honor of being in front of another human in human connection, and this is, I work remotely and have for many, many years. This is a gift for me to connect with brilliant humans like you guys and be able to have these conversations that go beyond a 30-second dopamine TikTok clip hit. I just consider to be an honor. But so be present with the people in your life. Really get out of your head and into them when you are in front of them. Because I'll tell you, I live with a congenital blood disease and it's a very high risk and very life threatening. And it's taken me out, almost taken me out many, many times So I face my mortality in a way that I don't think other people have to or are forced to. So I try to be as present as possible with other humans when I can. Because I'll tell you this, from working as a death doula on my end, at the end of the day, my friends, you are not going to be worried about the dollars in your bank account. You're not going to be worried about that house. You're not going to be worried about the boat, the car, the things. Here are the two things you're taking with you: your memories and your regrets. And by God, do not let some of your regrets be the memories that you missed out on.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is beautiful because having worked in hospice, one of the activities we did a lot of activities. I was the compliance officer. They wanted
Wow,
to
that's a big job.
they wanted to get rid of me.
You use the word shit in here. Go away.
You get rid of her. And I said, no, I want you to know me. I want you to trust me and
Yeah.
trust my ability to help you keep your business. So I had a
Yeah.
beautiful hospice that I was auditing. If they don't document correctly, you
Yep.
can't keep your contracts. You die.
Yep.
They die.
Yep.
And so I volunteered. I said, I want to know who you are. I do
Right.
not, and I want you to know who I am, not just compliance, not all those letters after my name, and nothing to do with me. I
Yeah.
said, I want you to know me and trust me. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you don't trust me, you're not going to do what I offer you to do. I
Yeah.
tell you. Okay, well, there's a basket that goes around the room. So I said, I want to work as if I work here. There's a basket. There's a whole bunch of golf balls in the basket. This is a woman who's dying. She's in her 40s, has 4 kids. She has a husband, she has a life, and she's dying. She's dying. She's dying from cervical cancer. Okay. And these are the visitors. These are the people in her life. Every time she starts to fade away, one of those balls goes out of the basket. And as we're going around, they'll say, who is that left? People that she had meetings with, people that she worked with, not for.
Yeah.
This is your aunts and uncles. These are the distant. This might be your child that you haven't talked to forever. Less balls, less. When it gets down to 2, who's left? And everyone around the room had to think about who's left? My best friend, which could be your husband or your child or whoever, and one who knows me. One who knows me, and one who's my best friend.
Yeah.
At the very end, that's what you need. And I have seen people die from horrible accidents, things that you just can't even want to talk about. Okay.
Right.
They want you to get close to them when they barely have a voice and listen. I took care of a young boy who was terrible years ago, Cal Poly crash. I was dragged in as a probie in nurses training. I had no idea what I was doing. Doctor said, you will work. They didn't have.
Oh, that's fuel by fire.
By fire, literally.
Yeah.
Burned victims.
Oh no.
Young men who had just beat BG in a football. The whole back of the plane hit a tree. So 25 died, including the coach. These were brought to here in St. Vincent's. We didn't have a burn unit. We didn't even have an ICU. We didn't have a so here we come in toddling, and they give me this man, and he's burned terribly on one side of his eye, one eye you couldn't even see. Okay, and he's trying to say something to me, and I'm looking for a vein because I had to get pain medicine into him.
And he just wanted you to hear him.
He wanted me to hear. And so I got the needle in. These are steel needles, nothing like we have now.
And you're shaking like, oh,
shaken to death. But I thought, I can do this. And I yelled at a guy that was in scrubs. I said, get me some Demerol. Get me Demerol. I don't have keys. Demerol. It happened to be a doctor, by the way. And so he got me Demerol. And he said, what's your name? And I said, it's Miss Ball. I got to take care of him. And then I looked at him. And I saw his lips move. And I went and laid down next to him. And the smell was horrible. But all of a sudden, I wasn't a probie anymore. I am your nurse, and I will not leave. Don't let me die, he said. Don't let me. I said, I will be here with you. I will do everything for you that I can do. To this day, it changed me. It changed from this unworthy little girl that had all kinds of issues to this nurse that can love, that can hear. And what's so important? What is so important? I wrote a book, Mitered Corners, had tons and tons of stories about people I've met in my life, and especially doctors, nurses, etc. When I was a probie, I had a very austere, militant coach. She was a nurse. And she says, come in this room. I want you to show me a perfect mitered corner. We didn't have fitted sheets in that. Mitered corners had to be perfect, a perfect diagonal. And the man who was in the bed had cancer, and he kept reaching for my hand, and I couldn't make a perfect mitered corner. And I stood up and I said, Mrs. Ludlow, she's not here anymore, Mrs. Ludlow, I don't think he gives a care that that his mitered corners are perfect. He needs something for pain. Can you please get something for pain? And she said, you don't talk to me like that.
You were causing problems from day one, girl. You wasn't there changing it everything.
Rebel. Yeah.
You're like, okay. I am patient-centered. Yes.
Yes. And she said, very well. But by midnight tonight, and I'll be here, you have a perfect mitered corner. And to this day, and the man whispered, thank you.
Oh.
And to this day, I make perfect mitered corner.
You got it. Timing is everything too with these things. Timing is everything. Like again, yes. So Nancy, you write across so many different genres, and I have a feeling it's because in that playpen you became a lover of these things called words. But beneath all those different genres, what is the truth? What is the vein that runs through all of them?
Forgiveness. Forgiveness is it's a word. I've read the word, but there's so much to it. Forgiving yourself for whatever is inside of you that makes you question or have fear. Fear is it's the basic feeling for anger, for all kinds of emotions that we have. If you can identify those fears and put them wherever they belong, if they're fears from your childhood, put them in a box. You'll know where the key is if you need it, but put it in a box because you can't change it. Yeah. It's done. Okay. How are you going to work with your fear? How are you going to do that? And one of the things, because it took me a while to forgive my father, I became pregnant. He slept with us. To this day, and all kinds of counseling, I was told it probably was your father's baby. I had an abortion. I almost died. I was 14. I don't know. But I don't know if that fear inside of me of something bad happening affected my relationships. I somehow inherited alcoholism when I was introduced to booze. I had 5 and 6 years after I had my kids that I almost died from it. It's a disease.
That was fast.
Very fast.
I spent 20 years in the bottle. My husband and I met 30 days clean. We are 8 years sober together.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah. Well, then you need support.
You do.
There are avenues now. So can I say the name of the support system I am in?
Of course.
But 42 years of my life back. And if I am not thankful, if I don't forgive myself every day I look in the mirror and I say, you are wonderful. You are God's child. I believe in God. You are God's child and you deserve it. You have hope, and keep the box closed.
Yeah. And sometimes, Nancy, if that fear is creeping up on us, what I found in my work, in my personal practice and with my clients, is sometimes we have to do it scared. Do the thing scared and then the fear fades. But sometimes you have to be willing just to take the leap out of your comfort zone, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the empathy for sure. And now what you've shared about your medical problems and all of that, look at the beautiful person you are and how many people, you'll never know how many people you helped over time. Um, it, but I forgave my father because later in life they came to live in town. They lived in Iowa. He was one night, I came after work, 10 o'clock at night, to fix their Venetian blinds to hook them up. And he petted me on the butt. And my mom jumped back. She was sitting in a chair. And I was going, oh, it brought back all that beating thing. And he said, I bet that's the first time I ever spanked you. And I drove home with this lifted fear gone, and the anger I had toward him.
Mm.
And I said, if he doesn't remember, why do you remember? Just put it away.
Well,
Put it.
and I think I spent so much time, I call it being other focused, blaming my ex-husband, blaming my mom, blaming my dad, in victim mentality. And the only thing, now it is a stage of the process. I was a victim, right? You have to acknowledge that to see where you've been. But man, if you stay in victim mentality, that is not where the growth happens. So, yes, forgive yourself first, because then forgiveness towards others is easier to extend. But yeah, I was able to look at them as human beings and go, look at what they went through. That's what developed this. But what I will not do is continue this cycle. So I became the cycle breaker of the intergenerational trauma. You became the cycle breaker of the intergenerational trauma. Even though we did it in the middle of our lives, right? Sobering up and doing things to better the world and to help other humans with stories, because that's how we learn the best, is through stories. But yeah, you forgiveness is crucial, and it
Yes.
begins with self-forgiveness. I agree wholeheartedly, and I love your practice of doing it daily.
Yes, I have to do it daily because
Yeah,
that little box calls to me every once in a while. Someone,
yeah,
you get a lot of criticism in healthcare. Healthcare
yeah.
is a huge
I
political.
was a healthcare consultant in corporate education for
Oh,
30 years,
goodness.
I know,
Poor
yeah.
thing. Oh my goodness.
I educated physicians. It was a nightmare of a job. It was a nightmare of a job.
Especially
Oh.
being a woman.
I had one doctor one time. I had his chart in my hand and I just needed him to sign the damn query. And he was running from me down the hall.
Learning from
And
you.
I just still remember my heels going clip, 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 clip. I was like, Dr. S, Dr. S. And he was running from me. I was like, Jesus, I was just trying to make you guys money. Come on. Come on.
I know. I know, being an auditor, being a coding specialist,
Yes, it was
teaching them things.
CDI that I did,
I had
clinical
a doctor throw a
documentation
chart.
improvement.
Yeah, I was doing an
Yeah.
audit. He threw a chart at me in an audit. Miss
What?
Cassidy,
I was doing a seminar. He had put "this is stupid" on a query, and
oh,
so I put
oh,
it up on the slide. Now I had to black out his name on it, but I was like, "This is not what to do. This is not what to do. We're
I don't
not trying to be assholes here. We're trying
know.
to make you money."
Well,
Seriously.
they invited you to come. I
Yes,
mean,
we're
they're
trying to
fussing.
keep this hospital open. Just cooperate, please.
Well, the
Yeah.
chart went by, and I said, "Oh, Doctor, whoever he was," I said, "Doctor, I guess this meeting is over. Would you like me to pick up your chart because I became the maid that he thinks I should be
Oh
instead
my
of the
gosh.
auditor?" And I bent over, brought
Oh.
this chart to him. He didn't know what to say, so he took a slug of his coffee and took off.
I know. They run from you. They run from you.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I want to talk about this fixer thing. And this we're just gonna go in a rabbit hole because I think this is important for we females, we women.
Yes.
So many of us, especially in chaotic households, become the absorber of the heavy emotion. If I can hold it, everything will be okay. If I can become the high achiever, if I can become captain of everything, everybody will approve of me, everything will be fine. And so we bring this pattern into our relationships. What happened for you? Where was the transition, the transformation to stop being the fixer?
I'm still a fixer, but I have my boundaries.
Yes. Thank you. Boundaries.
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 Yeah.
Boundaries.
We need boundaries. Healthy,
Yes.
healthy boundaries. Okay.
Yes.
The
Loving but direct. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. One thing that happened in my first marriage, I married. It wasn't his fault. He was a friend in school. Uh, he was an only child. He was very spoiled.
Oh, Nancy, you're frozen. Oh, hang on, Nance, you're frozen. So we're losing everything you're
And
saying.
he was my father. You will not.
Oh, Nancy, hang on, you're frozen. Hold tight, because we want to hear all this. Because I think you just said you married your father. Oh, Nancy, we're losing you, friend.
Work. This is in the 50s and 60s. Come back. Ah, we're back.
We're
Are you
back.
back? We're
Okay.
back.
Did I hear you say you married your father? Because I married my mother one
You
time.
okay. That puts
I
me in a
married my
different
mother
genre.
and I became my father, things I said I'd never
Oh my,
do.
oh dear,
Yes.
dear Lord. I
Uh-huh.
I married similar qualities
Mhm.
in this gentleman. You will back then. This was typical though of women. You were allowed to be a restaurant worker. You were allowed to be a care babysitter. You were allowed to be a wife, but you do not go to law school. You do not become a doctor. You don't do all these things. You don't do that. And I took it. I, my father
Well, it's all
demanded.
we know. It's all we
Well, that's
know.
all we knew back then.
Yeah.
And so I took it, but the fixer. So I had kids.
Mhm.
I lost some children in childbirth, before childbirth. I went through a lot of things, and he introduced me to alcohol. I'd never had any as a young person. My parents didn't drink. I'll say so. So that loosened my tongue.
Mhm.
That helped me learn to stand up for myself. It also led to a divorce that hurt
Mhm.
my kids because I was still drinking. It was so bad for them.
Mm.
They had a lot of therapy. They're great kids.
Yeah, I saved for my daughter's college fund and her therapy fund.
Yeah,
I'm like, you know, pay for your college and your therapy
which
fund.
oh, how much?
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll help you
Sorry.
with that one. I'll Venmo you some money right now. Oh,
But
yeah.
yes, I want to talk about that for a moment because I think mom guilt is one of the heaviest forms of guilt that we carry as mothers because we're always trying to do our best at that job and feel like we're failing at it every single day. We're all going to mess up our kids. The best thing we can do for an apology is change our behavior and work towards reconciliation. That's it. That's all we can do.
That's it. I tell my
Yeah.
kids, I said,
And save for their therapy fund.
say for this. And I love it that they've found ways how important that is.
Yeah.
At different iterations of the time. But they yes, to be able to stay in hope and forgiveness and positivity, you really have to work at it and you have to get help for it. I've
Yeah.
had I was diagnosed not with any bipolar, nothing significant that way, but Pavlov's dog syndrome was my therapy, who has passed away, the best guy ever. And
Mhm.
I said, I don't salivate when I hear a bell ring. He said, no, 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 not that way. The bells that ring in you are those things you put in a box. And
Mhm.
when you hear those or they whisper to you, you back down.
You shrink.
You shrink, shrink, shrink. Like,
Yeah.
oh, yes, you want me to be a wife, and that's all I'll do. Oh, no, no, I'm not a nurse. Okay, whatever. If you want me to dress up and look good for you, I'll do that.
Mhm.
Okay. All of a sudden, he says, we've got to change the bells, put them back in the box, and get some new ones.
That are yours.
that are mine.
Yeah.
Not perfect. I'll never be perfect. I don't want to be perfect.
Perfect sounds boring.
Perfect is boring. And absolutely, Lisa, uh, just love yourself. You've got to work at loving yourself, and you need to use other people. You need to be able to give and delegate and trust other people to do it as good as you would do it or how you thought you were going to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do that. You're a strong woman. You've been through a lot, and we get to be just the things we didn't like in other people. And
Well,
so,
what I love about this journey is when you get to a place where you like yourself as a human being and you dig your own company and you can be alone and you enjoy it, life shifts exponentially. So, my friends, what Nancy is saying is she practices, it's a practice daily to love herself. It
yeah,
is a daily practice to learn to love ourselves. If we grew up in environments that were neglectful or chaotic or emotionally abusive, even those of you who are sitting here listening, going, oh, my childhood wasn't that bad. Emotional abuse, neglect is abuse. Uh, uh, Feeling unloved is abuse. Abandonment is terrifying. The not knowing when they're going to come home or why they left or where they went. You know, Dad used to do that, in and out, in and out. And I'd come home from school one day and he'd be sitting on the couch. Hey, kiddo. I'd be like, oh, okay, Dad's back. I'd go in the room and do my homework, and everything was like, everything's normal. I'm like, you guys are crazy. Everybody's crazy in here. And they call me the crazy one. The crazy one is usually the cycle breaker. Well, Nancy, as we're closing, because we're coming up on time,
okay.
I want to ask you this. When somebody finishes your stories, what experience do you want them to end with? When they finish one of your poems, one of your stories, one of your writings, what do you want them to get out of it?
Okay. There are a couple of things, and I'll be brief. Don't get on stage before the script is written, meaning that get to know yourself.
Yeah.
Don't, as a fixer, I use that so I didn't have to look at me. Okay, don't
Mm.
you have a right to your opinion, but you have a responsibility for the delivery of your opinion,
Oh, that's good.
don't you?
But so it can be heard, right? You want it to
Yes,
be heard and
yes,
respected and
yes.
reciprocated. So
Yeah.
your approach matters.
Oh,
Like my husband always tells me, your tone. He's like, I can't hear what you're saying because of your tone. I was like, no, you're annoying me. I'm annoyed. This is your tone.
if
So
I
yeah,
say, if I
I
say,
have to monitor my voice all the
they do.
time.
If I say I love you, I can say it. I can make it meaningful, or I can just be invisible because
Yeah,
I can say, yeah, I love you,
yeah,
or I love you.
yeah.
Makes a big difference in relationships.
It
How
does.
my tone with my husband. I am the director. I have a file, and he does not like sweetie knows he doesn't like me directing when to do things, and I need to back off and allow him to be himself.
Know each other.
Know
Yeah,
each other. Realize who you're
yeah.
having a relationship with.
What are your needs in
Yeah,
relationship,
yeah,
and can
yeah.
they be reciprocal? I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. For
Empathy.
healthier relationships, because I'm telling you this, friends, if your relationships are healthy, and I know this because I was in a lot of toxic ones, toxic like prison time toxic ones.
Mm. Yeah,
Um, yeah, I almost lost a lot of freedom. But when your relationships are healthy, you can go on and conquer the world. When they're toxic, it's all you think about.
yeah,
Period.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're trying to fix something that isn't it's unfixable.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. You gotta take care of you first. Yeah.
Everybody needs to write. I don't care how you do it, what you do with it. I don't care what your penmanship is. Everyone has a story, and
Mhm.
leave a legacy of your story because you will help beyond yourself. Please,
Absolutely.
please do that. And every day, just like Lisa and I do, look in the mirror and see not the shell, see the heart,
The spirit.
the
The
spirit.
spirit. It's
If
my spirit keeping me here. I got a big spirit, woman. I got a big spirit. All right, we close out with our guests with 2 questions, okay?
yes, yes.
My first question for you is, in your life, what did you perform in order to survive? And what happened in your life when you dropped the role masker performance?
Ah, okay. In my life, I was the hub of healthcare. I I took that's what nurses do. You observe, you give it out, you take it in. Okay, all of that. That became my persona. It fit in well with the how I was
The
built.
fixer,
The
yeah.
fixer, the fixer. When I retired, I sat here and I in my pajamas and I thought, where are you? Where did she go? Where? So I went back to work and I became a navigator, which is a big long title. A navigator. It's a little bit of everything. Okay. But it didn't work out because God said, my spirit said, you need to find out you. Quit trying to cover up.
Take off the mask.
Take off the mask. Take off the costume that you
Yeah,
wear.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I quit. I quit. Didn't work out. Wasn't a good fit for me. I did it again. Someone called me and said, "Oh, Nancy, they got a
We're
new presenter."
stubborn. We got to do it like 3 or 4 times before we learn.
And
Because
I said,
you're a writer, woman. You're a writer. That's what you are.
just give me one. I'll create it for you. Well, it was in product management for all of ProMedica. Oh, good
Oh
grief.
my goodness.
Spreadsheets and you were
Oh,
clinical consultant for that. So you had to work with them, the people who were selling so they get their money, but the best quality. And man, I said, I am not going to discount quality to make more money. And they said,
yeah.
well, in 3 weeks you need to make $3 million more, and it's impossible. So
Wow.
I retired before I was vested in 2 weeks for my retirement.
Mm.
Unbeknownst to me, there were 30 of us over 70 that they had to give a significant retirement. And
They got
there's
out of it.
they got out of it. Okay. Okay. So that's my problem. Okay. I finally, through my support system, got people to listen. And they listened and they gave me feedback. And they said, you are not, that is not you. You are not the fixer. You are not the victim. You
You
are
are not the role.
Pavlov's dog either.
Yeah.
And you have to find out how to do that. And I'm still working on that. Believe that. It's
Because it's a daily practice.
it is. I
Yeah.
mean, don't you who you basically are is sometimes hard to fight
Yeah.
because you dress it up in a lot of costumes. So you got to get them off, and sometimes you put them back on. But get to know yourself, get to love the things about yourself, develop those talents that you have. If you have a passion for something, it doesn't matter if you're 85 or not. I did a what is it called? Flash dance, flash mob dance at 84. Flash mob.
Love that.
That
I
was in
love
my bucket
that.
list in Carolina in a mall with 14 of my best old friends.
Oh, how fun.
Gloria Gaft, everybody
I want
clapped.
to tag the video in here. I want to tag the video of your flash dance in here. Nancy, you bring up a very good point about getting to know yourself. You know, take off the roles and masks and get to know yourself. And my friends, if there is a gnawing on your heart to do something, that is your purpose, meaning, and mission. And it was placed on your heart by the divine. It is not accidental. If it's gnawing at you and it's not going away, do the thing. Do the thing. All right, Nancy, one last question. What conversations do you want us to be having more of? What should we be talking more about?
I think we should be talking about the things that we have that's based in fear. If you
Mhm.
have some qualities that you just don't like, but they keep happening, then
Mhm.
you've got to dig down to the basis of it, where the root cause is.
Where's the root? Yeah.
Where's the root? You can't build a flower, you can't have a garden without knowing the roots.
And observation is not neutral, my friends. That's quantum physics. It's quantum mechanics. The minute you observe the root, the fear, the origin, it already starts changing for you.
Absolutely.
It's magical.
It absolutely does. And yes, you may need help. You may need professional help to do it. You need support. You need people like friends. I have 3 friends that will call me on my
Oh, you need friends that call you on your BS. I got some friends that call me on my BS. They're like, do you want to be right today or do you want the truth? I'm like, I just want to be right today. Please lie to me. And I call them the next day and I'm like, oh, I was the asshole in that argument. They're like, yeah, you were. Yeah, you were. You were.
There you go.
The asshole.
Yeah. And listen to them.
Yes. Yes.
Telling you.
Find your people. Find your people. You can find them here. Well, Nancy, where can people find your work, my friend? We're going to plaster it everywhere, but tell them right now where they can find your work.
My new website, and it also has my husband and I, which is a riot, is www.Nancy Jasin Ensley. That's my author name, nancyjasinensley.com. And in there, it will have links to my social media. I'm big on LinkedIn and Instagram, Facebook. I'm on other chat forums. I'm on a lot of things.
YouTube. We're going to plaster everywhere, guys. You don't have to write this down. Links will be available. Yes. So I love it that you're on all the socials too. I love that. All right, my friends. Thank you so much, Nancy, for joining us on Notes from the Edge. Friends listening, listen, ask yourself the question, what did you perform in order to survive? And is it still serving you? And if it's not, what greatness can happen in your life if you drop the role, mask, or performance? Welcome to the Edge. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Laugh a little.
Oh, belly laughs are important. And with that, we're going to close out on the belly laugh.
Okay.